Hey guys, hope you're doing good today. I'm over here at the Fairview Technology Center, which is a startup incubator that I help manage for the county that I'm part of. And today I wanted to talk to you about the idea of a family office and what it is. It's a term that I actually learned not too long ago from one of my co-founders, Doug Spate, when we were co-founders of Cathedral Leasing. I knew what it was, but I just didn't recognize the term or the use of the term family office. And so today I want to tell you a bit more about what it is and how you can approach a family office to get startup funding. So the idea of a family office started quite a long time ago in the late 1800s, and it typically revolved around very wealthy families like the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, and things like that. It was financial advisors who were working on behalf of wealthy families and were managing the family office, the investments and financial matters of very wealthy families. But in the startup world, when we talk about a family office, it's a similar concept. It's just a family or a group of families, multiple families, and their money is either being managed by an outside financial advisor or someone inside that family is managing the money. And in the startup world, those folks are using some of those funds, not necessarily all of it, but some of those funds to invest in startups because, like typical angel investors, they may like to put money into entrepreneurs in their community or nowadays across the globe who have great ideas just to help them further them along. It could be for charitable purposes, meaning if the startup is doing something great, like maybe SpaceX, who is trying to colonize Mars, or those types of things. These family offices have large sums of money, and they want to put them into startups to help further their cause, or maybe even just get a return for their money that family office is not able to get on the stock market. Now, family offices have actually been around for, as I mentioned, for quite a long time, since the late 1800s, and there are a lot more of them than you might think. Actually, some recent reports, some articles I saw on Forbes referenced the fact that a study found globally that there could be 10,000 family offices across the globe, and there could be 6,000 here in the United States. And those family offices are managing vast sums of money. The number that I saw was actually $4 trillion of assets in those family offices. So they clearly have a lot of money that they can put into various startups. Now, the next question you might have is, how do I find or locate family offices that are willing to invest in startups in the first place, right? So how do you locate them? Well, like most things that I teach people when they're trying to locate investors to put money into their startup, I recommend that you go out and network in your community. These family offices probably have, like I mentioned, someone managing money on their behalf, or someone within the family is doing it, and they're going to be out in their community looking for opportunities to put money into. So go to local pitch competitions, go to your local incubators, go to local chamber events, local other types of activities. Networking in general is a great way to connect with these family offices, but there are ways online that you can do this. And I talked about some other ways to locate investors in general through online resources in a previous post. So I'll reiterate a few of those here for you now. So one of the ways you can do it is through a website called crunchbase.com. Crunchbase is a great way to go search. And actually, I'll put in the notes below a link to a research study that was done by Crunchbase, and they identified some of the top family offices in the United States. I believe it was, or it may be worldwide. I'll put a link to it though, so you can check it out and see those. So Crunchbase is a great place to do it. You could also go on to LinkedIn, just like I talked about in the previous post, and search for family office and see what comes up. But there are websites specifically dedicated to locating and researching family offices, and one of them is FinExtra, I believe it is called. I'll put a link to it as well below. That website specifically focuses on helping people identify family offices and researching them. So now, why do you want to research a family office? Well, it's just like I talk about again with other investors. You shouldn't blindly go after a family office and try and approach them to get them to invest in your startup. Just like other types of investors or other category of investors, family offices have different categories that they like to invest in, different types of startups and appetites that they have for the startup industry. They may have specific industries they like to do. They may have a size limitation on the amount of funding that they're willing to put into a startup, and all kinds of factors that you need to take into account. So use that research to identify the family office, but also learn the type of appetite they have so that you can go about approaching them. Just like most investors, the very best way to approach a family office is through a warm introduction. Leverage your network, ask the question, who do you know, and see if you can find some sort of connection through various stages to someone at that family office. I hope this information helps you. Again, family office is another great way to approach investors or to find investors to put money into your startup. Thanks a lot.